I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We are joined by Vaisrevana. Hi!
Hey, yo! How are you?
I'm great. I'm wonderful. Thanks to you being here. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hey, yo, everyone! I'm Vaisrevana. You can call me Vaisrevana or the love of your life.
And you come from the Abyss.
Of course.
Yes. Yes, you have to tell me about this Abyss place sometime. When did you get started with VTubing?
I debuted, I think it was November 2nd of 2024. But it was a long process to get, to that point.
Did you have to convince yourself, or did you have to get the courage to do it, or had to get the equipment to do it, or why did it take so long?
Well, the thing is that I had thought about it for a long time, but I always found myself busy with many other things until my fellow VTuber from the Abyss called Koyasu said to me one day, "Hey, I'm going to be a VTuber." And I'm like, "Okay." And they're like, "You should be a VTuber with me." And I'm like, I already had thought about it, and I'm not going to be a VTuber just because you told me to. I was already thinking about it. And so we kind of worked together to get to that point. We were originally going to debut together as a duo, but at the end, I ended up debuting on my own.
Yes. Well, that way they don't get any credit, and you get all the credit.
It's more like, we have different personalities, and I feel like I'd overpower him too much.
Well, there's that too. Man, you get all the credit. It's just a happy byproduct.
Yeah, kind of. I'm not here after people's blood since I am a vampire.
Yeah.
He's after just eating people in general.
Well, some people are vegetarians, and some people like their steak. That type of sort of thing. Everybody's got different taste. Speaking of that, what is your taste in games? What do you like to play while you're on?
I like all sorts of games. I like survival games like Terraria, Minecraft, Don't Starve Together, things like that.
Yeah.
And then I like... Oh, go ahead.
I really need to get Don't Starve Together because I really enjoy watching that game, and I know I'd enjoy it, except for the point where you die. I
didn't like the game at first, to be honest, because the person who got me into it didn't really do a good explaining,
Yeah.
So then another person, one of my other friends said, "Hey, I'm going to play this. Do you want to play with me?" I'm like, "I see you have it." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I tried, and they actually taught me how to play this game, and I brought some other friends into it. I'm like, "Okay, so now we're starving. Go over there. Go far away from me." Why? Because the game is called Don't Starve Together. So go away, please. You can't be together and starving at the same time.
That's right. Go do something else instead of being right here. Well, if I do get this game, I'm going to ask you for help on it, okay?
Oh, of course, anytime.
Because I will get frustrated, and my character will die, and then it'll be really frustrating for me. But I imagine that's for everybody who starts that game. You're not going to start in and just immediately win the whole thing. and
I don't know. I never lived past a year in the game.
Well, that's a heck of an effort in itself, isn't it?
No, wait, hold on. Have I gone past a year? Yes, I've passed 1 year and a half in the game, and then something always inevitably makes everything descend slowly into hell.
Whether it's suddenly there's wild dogs everywhere you walk, or those things get me.
Yeah. There's at first you'll see a few of them, then you'll see a bigger one with them, and then there's fire ones and ice ones too.
They're the things that I would hate probably the most in that game. It's good.
What you would hate the most would be summer.
When I see somebody I'm watching somebody playing that game, and then I hear the dogs coming. I'm like, well, they're dead.
A lot of you have Wendy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Wendy has a ghost called Abigail, who is her twin sister. I just kind of just make Abigail attack everything for me, and I'm just kind of Abigail support.
Oh yes, I forgot about her. Yeah, That's almost overpowered, isn't it? At times.
It is overpowered.
Well, just kill them off. Just go ahead and kill them off. I mean, that's about the only way I've ever seen anybody beat unless they ran them into the big buffalo type creatures and
Oh, those things. Oh, I forgot what they were called.
beefalo.
Koalefants.
Oh,
Yeah, koalefants.
yeah,
They're so cute.
they run them into those things and they get mad and kill them. Like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to be really set up for something like that. Oh, I interrupted you though when you talk about the games that you were playing. What other games do you like to play?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. I like fighting games like Tekken,
Uh-huh.
Mortal Kombat. That's it. Only those two. And I'm into MMOs like Fantasy Star Online.
Mhm.
Big fan of that series. Actually, I think it's actually in my lore actually. What else? What else do I play? Content warning.
Oh,
Horror games
yeah. Phasmophobia?
and stuff like that. Phasmophobia.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to look. It's like my friends are like, "Oh no, it's coming! It's coming!" Like they always find the ghost, and I'm always out there. Come to me, please. If they don't come to me, they go to after my friends instead.
Yeah, but they also get attacked, don't they? And you don't get attacked?
Yeah, but I want to get attacked. I think it's fun.
Yeah, you're the one streaming. They should be coming after you.
Exactly, and then they go after someone else. Oh, wait, have you ever seen VR chat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like I like going into horror maps in VR chat.
Oh.
And whenever I go with someone else who knows the map, they're like, "Oh, don't go into." I already went into it. I ran into it, and they're like, "Why would you do that? It's so freaking scary." I'm like, "Why not? It looked fun."
That's where the fun is.
Exactly.
I imagine you on that content warning. I bet you're a terror on that game.
Not when I'm being chased with by that one thing with the gun. I just call it the dog with the gun.
It's those games are just amazing to me because there's. I mean, I know there's a plot, the game like that in like Lethal Company, but it's hard. It would be hard for me to concentrate on the plot while anything else was going on. I just like just try to survive and keep going to the next one. Let the other people die off or something like that.
Oh yeah, as I say, look, it's like whenever I play content warning, I'm like, okay, you are the camera guy. All of us, everyone else, we're all expendable. If we die, you run. Take the camera back. We can't afford losing the camera.
Oh man, that's just too much fun. Have you been able to get a lot of people to collaborate with other streamers?
I've only collabed with two people. My fellow abyss, abyssal light person,
Yeah,
Koyasu, who's a dragon,
yeah.
and this other VTuber called Day Onigami.
Hmm. I don't know. I
Just
don't
those
know one.
two.
Yeah. Well. I mean, are you looking to add a few more folks to your posse?
Sometimes, yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, I've had a few other VTubers say to me that, oh, we should collab, but they never get back to me on that.
Oh well. I mean, is that partially because of time zones?
No, I don't think so. I think we're all kind of in close time zones
Yeah.
near, you know.
Yeah. That kind of is tough for some folks. I know that. Again, I mean, I get to talk to folks around the world because I'm up at all hours anyway. Here in the middle of the U.S., so it doesn't matter about me so much. But I imagine it would be a little harder if you were up in the middle of the night, your time, trying to concentrate on a tough game with somebody on the other side of the planet. Um, have you found that to be a problem yet, or are the hours just fine for you right now?
The hours are fine for me right now.
Mm.
All of my friends who live on the other side of the world, they're probably asleep and not thinking about me, so it's fine.
Well, have you got any other things you'd like to do with your channel right now? I know you just got started not that long ago, but you're starting to get rolling. Are you
Oh,
confident enough
I'm
to
trying
expand a little bit?
I'm aiming, or well, I call myself a variety VTuber because I sing. I also draw, although I haven't done any drawing streams yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I have sang a few songs here and there.
Mm. You didn't have a karaoke stream, didn't you?
Sometimes, sometimes it's a karaoke stream. But I only had one, and I just randomly sing on my stream sometimes. Although people keep telling me, well, my followers, my dear abyssal demons, keep telling me, when singing, sing this song, please. We miss your beautiful voice.
Ah, yeah, they're really buttering you up, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Just keep it coming, folks. Sooner or later, sooner or later, Vice will be singing for you. Don't worry about it. Um, so, what do you want to do as far as singing? Do you want to do covers? Do you want to like release covers? Do you want to just keep it like karaoke type things?
For now, just karaoke type things. Although I am supposed to do a duet soon with Jay Onigami.
Mm. And what type of song is it going to be?
It's gonna be Persona 3 Reload songs.
Mm. Okay.
He's handling all of the rapping because obviously I cannot rap.
Well, you never know till you try.
I've tried, trust me, I've tried.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take your word for it. You don't want to have like the mom spaghetti moment. You're trying to do this on the internet. Uh, so when you first decided you wanted to do this, and you said took a little while to get that final bit of convincing in, what drew you to it? Was it the gameplay? Was it interacting with other people, or what?
Well, I've always wanted to do some stuff like streaming or making videos. Actually, outside of this, me being a VTuber now, I was a content creator.
Mm-hmm.
I did a few videos under another name that I will not mention.
Mm-hmm.
But then, for example, a relative of mine who really loves VTubers said to me one day, "You should be a VTuber. I think you're cut out for that kind of stuff."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, okay, this person said I had to be a VTuber. I have to do it now.
Well, what's the? I mean, you did content. Was it live content, or was it a scripted type of content?
It's kind of scripted. I used to write scripts and investigate about what I was going to talk about. I used to talk about anime and stuff like that. And sometimes I feel like, oh, I feel like talking about anime again.
Mm.
So what I'm actually planning to do is that, well, I'm planning to make a different channel
Mm-hmm.
called Nipponiando, but it's going to be in Spanish because
Ah,
since I'm bilingual, like I don't just want to reach just people who speak English. I also want to reach people who speak Spanish.
yeah, yeah. I think that I've talked to some folks who speak other languages than English, and it's very. I kind of wonder because the a lot of VTubers that you see are either basically in Japanese or English, some other different languages, but not many. And I really think that there's an audience there for a Spanish market. Um,
Oh, there's a few Spanish VTubers out there
yeah,
who mainly speak Spanish that I've seen here
yeah.
and there.
I mean, Spanish means Spanish the language, not Spanish. I mean, there's different forms of Spanish everywhere. uh,
Oh,
obviously,
they speak Latino Spanish,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is basically mainly it's the one they speak in Mexico, which is the mainstream one.
Yeah, and there's that's the top certainly here in the United States and in Texas, although it changes in Texas. It's got a twang in Texas. It sounds a lot different. you, you can tell pretty quickly if you got a good ear. Um, so I don't know. That would be interesting to see what type of audience you'd be able to pull with something like that if it got a real good push and people get involved with it. I really think that having streams in different languages is pretty an untapped market for people.
Yeah, of course, that's what I've thought too. Although I have, for example, on the Mexico scene, I have seen some prominent VTubers that the person who pushed me into VTubing says you should be like this person, you should be like that person, and I'm like, no, I can't pull that kind of stuff off.
Yeah, I mean it's all it's there's so many different ways to do it, and um, it's almost infinite. I've interviewed so many folks now, and everybody comes from a different background, a different way of doing things, and we're just going to continue to see different aspects come out, whether it's a purely gaming stream or a gabbing stream or an ASMR stream or music. Um, with that, is there any other types of streams you'd like to do besides the gaming and the music stream?
Drawing streams.
Oh yeah. So have you been an
Yeah, I
artist
did
for a
say
long time?
drawing.
Have you been an artist for quite a while?
I have, but I don't think my drawings are that good. I've been told they are good, but I'm here like, no, I feel like I could do better.
Yeah. Well, there is a tough uh, road between drawing for yourself and then drawing for somebody else and showing it to people.
That is true. Although I don't know if you've ever seen my YouTube page, the banner. I made the banner.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. I mean, that's I mean that shows you that you do have the talent to do this. Um, but you just is it more that you're not quite as confident as you like to be, or are you just too much of a perfectionist?
I'm too much of a perfectionist. That's why it also took me so long to be able to debut because I was here thinking, no, it has to be perfect.
Yep, yep. You are an artist. It's not done yet. You've been working on it for 3 years. It's done. No, I've still got to do pull it off.
Exactly like that.
Be pulling it off the wall of the museum so you could add something else to it. No, you can't do it. Well, that's a different sort of self confidence, isn't it? I
Indeed.
could do this better. Um, so now that you've got started and you've gotten into the having folks come back and watch you and listen with you and interact with you, um, how does that hit you knowing that there are people coming specifically to see and interact with you?
Uh, Actually, they came really quickly at me.
Hmm.
There's one I can remember the most. Well, I remember a lot, all of them actually, because we're a small community right now. But the one that really kind of just like made an impression on me
Hmm.
was this one person who renamed themselves Vice Red.
Mm.
They said Vice for Vaisrevana
Yeah.
and Ren because they like Persona 5. And then someone told me, damn, you must have set a record. I'm like, why? Like the second day VTubing, someone already stole your name. I don't know.
That doesn't seem fair after all the time you took to get on. Somebody just takes it right away. That's not fair at all.
Yeah, but he's he's a cool person, so
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
He is bestowed the honor of sharing my name.
Yeah. Well, with that, you've got people now coming specifically for you. Um, did you think about that when you started VTubing?
I actually didn't think people would come that fast as the way they did because well, it honestly makes me really happy to see that people have actually come back to see me, specifically me.
Hmm.
And I noticed it's specifically me because I remember one time I was VTubing with Yasu and I was on his channel rather than my channel.
Right.
And I was on his channel and some of my abyssal demons came over to his channel. And I'm like, oh, they came for me because whenever he streams by himself, they don't go over there. That's
Well,
how I can tell.
and not only that, they're loyal,
They're loyal abyssal demons,
loyal
true
sub,
demons at heart.
loyal demon subjects. Well, I mean that's great. That's good to have to be able to get a community like that started so quickly. Um, and are you after just you're just over a month in, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So have you gone further than you thought you'd be at this point, or are you on the pace you want to be?
It's like, well, it's like, for example, like, I don't have much experience with streaming.
Hmm.
Like, I have more experience making videos on YouTube, and then I'm just like tracking the views and whatnot.
Right.
And with streaming, it's much different because you have followers, subscribers, or and things like that. and I'm here like for example, I'm on Twitch. I'm on Twitch and YouTube at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And it to me was kind of strange because I became an affiliate, I think on my second week on Twitch. And I said to me, I didn't really think much about it. But everyone else was like, damn, that's so fast. I thought it would take you like at least a month or two to get to be an affiliate.
Yeah.
And you did it in 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know how fast streamers are supposed to grow. No, but that's really good. Some people take a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people do take a long time, but there's something that always comes up in I went to a college strictly for radio when I was much younger and still had hair, back in the 80s. And there were a lot of people who wanted to do radio things, but they didn't have the voice for radio. They didn't have the personality for radio, and they weren't as successful as some folks were as getting it. And unfortunately for any type of entertainment field, that's always going to be a filter that people have to go through. I mean, you can still go on and do it, but sometimes some people just have an it factor that it's tough to teach. Maybe you have that it factor.
Maybe. The only person I actually compare myself to is Koyasu.
Mm-hmm.
Since me and we're kind of like, I don't know what to call us. We made like a little group. We're like, okay, so back then when we were going to debut together, we're like, okay, let's make like a little like group called Abyssal Light.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we still call it, Abyssal Light. So he's in there with me. And I only compare myself to him. And I see that his growth is much slower than mine. Mm-hmm. But I tell him that he should try to become more passionate about things because currently I'm only playing things that I like to play. Mm-hmm. And some of my friends say that it shows because of how you express yourself and such. And then Koyasu's growth was much slower than me. But now he's getting into games he likes more. Yeah. And he's actually picking up a bit more now.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. That does make a difference a lot of times. In that if you're showing that you're enjoying yourself and you're interested in what's going on, then the audience is going to be interested too, and they're gonna want to keep it up and going with you, even if they're not hooked at right off the bat, even if they don't necessarily like the game, they like the person playing it, and they like to see how they're doing with it. And the host of the program is the main focus of the program. You know, it's hard to describe it any other way than that, but. Like here we're talking together, and I can hear you're smiling when you're talking. It's very easy to hear, which is great, and that will draw anybody into a conversation. When you're enjoying yourself and you're interested in what's happening, you'll get other ears to join in with you. And if you go on and you're not interested in something, the person listening will be like, "Why am I here?" You know, if they're not interested in it, why should I be interested in it? It's kind of tough to get over that sometimes, but then hopefully he's hit that point and that spark that picks up things, and the listeners will start piling in with him. Sometimes that's all you need, is just that spark.
Yeah, I mean, I get that because like one of my mods on Twitch, well, he's been a mod for other streamers before, before me, and he's well, for example, that's mainly one of the persons who supports me the most at my VTubing, and he's always like, well, you draw people in because you're always being cheerful, bubbly, and my other friends also tell me that you're cheerful and infectious. I'm like, I don't know what that means, but okay. Well, I personally believe that I feel like if I smile, if I have good vibes, I want to be able to spread those good vibes to other people to make their lives or day a little bit better, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what they mean by infectious. It spreads, and it goes from one to another to the other. And if you have that situation where you're making your audience happy, they're going to want to come back. and you become a part of their lives, and then the pressure builds up, and then it gets too much for you, and you have to quit. Wait a minute, that's not the line
I
I
don't
wanted
know.
to go.
I'm told I have too much energy and I work better under pressure.
That wasn't the way I wanted to go with that, but just kind of fell over in that general direction. No, but it sounds to me like you're having too much fun right now. I mean, is it that much fun for you to go on and do these streams?
Yeah, it's fun for me because I get to. Well, I'm streaming. I'm playing whatever game I'm playing. It's still fun, and I love talking to chat because they're such fun people to talk to. At
Hmm.
least the people who come and talk to me in chat.
Yeah.
I freaking love them so much.
And it hasn't been tough for you to, some of these horror games and some of these action games that you played. It might be a little tough to do that and chat at the same time. Have you had a problem with that?
Sometimes I do miss them, but I always try to reread them, like going back to check what they said, because I have a few people some abyssal demons who like to tell jokes on my stream. Sometimes I don't get their jokes, but I'm like, yeah, I have a weird sense of humor.
Well, that helps being on here. That helps. There's streamers who have all sorts of weird senses of humor, and I don't know where you young folks get all this stuff, but it just got to come from somewhere. Um, the in the future for your channel, I know you just got started, but as we get into the new year, is there anything you're looking forward to that you have in your sights to do? Something big on your channel.
Something big. Well, hmm. Well, for example, I am planning to make that other channel that I told you about called Nipponiando,
Right?
where I do plan to mainly speak Spanish on that channel. But my goal with that channel is mainly make videos about anime
Mm-hmm.
and talk about anime related things in otaku culture,
Mm-hmm.
along with Koyasu and Yumiko Yaka. I forgot her name. Her name is Yumi. But she's gonna be debuting next year.
Ah, well, maybe we can sneak her on too. While this going on, but is there a for Spanish speakers? Is it tough to get into anime if you don't understand like Japanese?
No, not really. Actually, for example, well, I'm not hiding this. Like, for example, I'm from Mexico
Mm-hmm.
and I live in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, the whole otaku culture here is really strong.
Hmm.
Mainly because there was always anime on the public channels or whatever you want to call them. I'm not sure what you call them
Okay.
exactly. There's always anime. So there's like, you got these guys who are like in their 40s or 50s and they love anime. And obviously, younger generations, they also like anime with all these new stuff coming out.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's great that market is there for it because there's such a strong group that I don't think is represented enough in the that type of a culture, and I'm glad that there is that there, especially across the generations. Um, so it was available for you on like the public television channels,
Mm-hmm.
huh? Like the university channels and that sort of thing. Or,
Like the public channels were, like, for example, here in Mexico, the public channels are something like Azteca Siete,
mhm.
Canal Cinco. They always have anime. They used to always have anime. They still have a lot of anime on there,
Mm,
and I think that's one of the main stuff.
mm.
But it's they always would run things like Dragon Ball. I think they also did Sword Art Online, Death Note, and stuff like that.
Mm. Were they dubbed or subbed?
Dubbed. Like, people don't know this, but Spanish voice actors, they're awesome.
They'd have to be. Going from Japanese to Spanish with some of those Dragon Ball lines would be pretty amazing.
It's funny to me because they even put like some jokes that like you'd have to you like they make like jokes into the dub, and it actually makes a lot of sense. And then you listen to the English version, and it's like, huh?
Yeah.
Why isn't it that funny?
Oh, I read about that, and I saw somebody online had had taken a couple of different of Dragon Ball releases, and they were even like 3 different English releases, and they were all different, but it was the same story, but they had done the scripts differently. So it's like you're interpreting it different ways, or trying to Americanize it, or anglicize it, or whatever country you're aiming it for. And so, have they done that for Mexico too?
Oh, they have. They have a lot. The voice acting over here in Mexico, it's really amazing. Like the following is kind of scary in my opinion, because there's so many people into it.
Yeah, that's cool. I one of my hobbies, I haven't really told this, is long distance radio listening, and on AM and FM, and I have heard many stations from my little central Illinois location from Mexico. And the voices on those stations are amazing. You talk about some men and women who can really project their voices. It's really something to hear. So I imagine that those voices doing that voice acting are really, really good.
Oh, they're practically gods over here.
And say if someone can come on and was one station I used to listen to out of Mexico City. It was on 900 XEW, Le W, I believe it is. Oh, hope I didn't mess that up too bad. But it was the announcers were just so robust, for lack of a better term. The men and women both, you knew exactly what they were saying. Very, very, very lots of gusto. And I imagine
that is true.
Yeah, and I imagine that carries over into that too.
It does. It does carry a lot.
Yeah. So when are you going to do it?
No, I don't know. It's not that easy getting into the Spanish market. Besides, I have voice acted before, but I'm better at voice acting in English and Spanish. And my mom sometimes says, you talk Spanish like a white guy learned Spanish. And I'm like, no, I felt like a Mexican.
That's what I was talking about with kind of the Tex-Mex type of things. I hear stations from Texas or New Mexico or even Florida for that example. And I'm like, yep, I can tell they're American. Doesn't take very long. So you'd be able to do the transition type dubs though.
I mean, my Spanish is way better than it was at some point in my life. So I think I could pull it off nowadays.
It's like somebody up here taking an English class and failing. You don't know English?
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, I could have done that, but I didn't. I got D's. I made it through. So it's just great to hear that you're enjoying yourself so much, and even though it took you a while to get rolling and get started into it, can you see yourself going without it for any period of time now?
I don't. Even the days I don't stream, like the only 2 days I don't stream is Tuesday and Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I want to stream. I miss streaming. I miss these guys in chat.
Yeah. It becomes a home away from home in a way, doesn't it?
It does.
Mm. And folks, when you listen to Vice's voice, you hear that smile like she just did. You're not fooling me. It is it's to use a term that you used earlier, infectious, and that type of
infectious.
Yes, and that certainly is going to take you a long way. And I hope that once you do get down a little further down the line, that you'll come in and talk with the old man again, because it's an absolute pleasure talking with you.
Oh, of course, I won't forget the great Loy Interviews.
Oh my, you'll be back sooner than a lot of people will. Thanks so much for coming on. I do appreciate it. Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.